Our second speaker is Mike Pruznik. He is giving a speech from the Public Relations Manual, speech number 4, Speaking Under Fire. His speech is 3 to 5 minutes with 2 to 3 minutes for Q&A. So 5 to 8 minutes total.
Okay, so I'll time this over.
Yeah. The title of the speech is Teen Pregnancy Isn't a Problem, it is the Expectation. For over 50 years, we have been failing to reduce teen pregnancy, sorry. Sexually transmitted diseases and promiscuity. Insanity is often defined as doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. It is time we stop lying to ourselves and accept the reality. Teen pregnancy isn't a problem. Teen pregnancy is the expectation. Mike Pruznik. Oh. No. Oh, Mike, will you read us the objectives? Do you need them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike's objectives are to prepare a talk to persuade a hostile audience to at least consider his position on a controversial issue, to demonstrate sincerity when presenting his viewpoint,
How many of you in this room were present at a live childbirth that went relatively normal? Yeah? Dan, I'm going to pick on you here, if I may. Are you comfortable sharing with us what happened shortly after the baby came out? What were some of the things that happened there?
Well, just being chilled and really exhausted, but excited, to feed the baby.
Feed the baby. That's what I was looking for. Something like that. One of the very first things you did is to teach your baby to be all it could be, to bring it to the breast and try and feed it, to bond with mom, to bond with dad. You took it home. You taught it how to hold its head up straight, how to sit up, how to roll over, how to crawl, cruise and walk and run. Use the big potty. Get more food in the mouth than over the walls. Everything you do as a parent, you are teaching your child to use the gifts they have to the maximum potential and to enjoy them and to get over those hurdles. The bike is my favorite. What happens when your child falls off the bike, Mike? Do you throw the bike away or you teach them to get back up and do it right? You don't know?
Throw the child away.
Throw the child away? Well, that's a good option if you like jail. Right? But we teach our children, right? Try again until you get it perfect, until you learn how to enjoy riding a bike. When it comes to education, what do we do with our children? 160 hours a year on the 4 core subjects: math, science, history, English. In about 5th grade, we start spending about 10 hours a year on something called human growth and development or some similar topic. And what is that about? Well, essentially it's now that you're sexually capable or becoming sexually capable, don't use this gift because I said so, because God said so. You must abstain. Spend their entire life and everything we do, 99% of the effort, use your gift, maximize your gift. And then they get this gift, and what do we do with them? With very little training, very little information, we just make this assumption that since they've never had sex before, they're not going to try and use this gift again. Does this sound like the way to develop a healthy sexual relation for your children? Anybody? Does anyone think this is a good program? Does this make sense? I'm not seeing anyone raise their hand, right? I mean, this is why teen pregnancy is the expectation. They have this gift, right? How about, what did we just go through here? Something called Christmas? How many of you gave your teenager a gift this Christmas or previous Christmas or maybe in a future Christmas, right? How many of you are expecting your children to take that gift as a teenager and say, thanks, Mom, thanks, Dad, I'm going to go put this on the shelf and I'm not going to use it until I'm married? I mean, right? That'd be insane, right? And yet we treat this sexuality as though it's going to happen and that pregnancy is a problem. But it's not. It's the expectation because of the way we've set up our system. So the question really becomes, If we can admit that, we can actually start to say, how do we create healthy relationships for our children? There are many ways. I'm going to share a little bit of one that works for a traditional married couple and can be modified for the difficulties, the different situations that you might have. But it starts out with when your children enter grade school. Start every month, have a 15-minute monthly conversation with them. Teach them how to express their feelings and interact with you. Have a mom and dad with the kid, a mom with the kid, a dad with the kid. Talk to them about how their friends are doing, how they're doing with their pets, how they're doing, what their problems and issues are. And begin that age appropriate. Junior high, raise it to 40, I said that wrong, should have been half an hour for elementary school, 45 minutes in junior high, and an hour in high school. And increase the intensity of the topics as they get older and more age appropriate. Teach them how to have that communication. So when they're developing that dating relationship, they've had years and years of experience on how to have a healthy relationship. So they know how to say no, how they know how to do what they need to do to have a healthy relationship. And whether that's because you want your child to share their virginity in a porn movie when they turn 18 to fund their college education, or whether you want them to share it with their husband on their one and only wedding night. Whatever's healthy for you, that comes from having those conversations and helping them guide it so that they can, whatever they choose to do, is done healthy. And with that, I'm ready to try to take a few questions. Yes, Diana.
So are you saying that the reason that teen pregnancy is the expectation is because some kids only hear 10 hours of information about sex?
Yes. I'm saying that your entire life, right, you were taught how to maximize what you were doing. You get this one thing, and you have no training on how not to use it. All your training is go out and use it. Go try it, practice it again and again until you get it right. And since you weren't given instructions on how to practice it right, you're doing it in an unhealthy way. You get pregnant, you get a disease, you get whatever. So statistically speaking, you're more likely to have problems. But if we can understand that and address it, we can get to a situation in where we've trained our children for healthy relationships through other means.
So your solution is to have the parents spend more deliberate time in teaching the child about positive relationships.
Positive relationships, and that sex is not a taboo topic. Discuss it openly and age appropriate, but don't hide it and be shameful. Any other questions?
Well,
Chris?
I'm wondering about I'm kind of tackling that causality too. It seems to me that it's a significant part of teen pregnancy is that people, especially young women, feel like they want to be wanted, they want to be loved, they want to be cared for, and they don't know how to do it. So how does that factor into your solution?
Well, let me address it this way. What I've noticed is when our children are in elementary school, we tell them they can be whatever they are and the way they are, and we talk to them about their beauty and who they are and how to do things like that. But when they get to junior high, for the most part, and there's obviously exceptions to the rules, all of a sudden we start telling them, you need makeup to cover up who you are. You need fashion. You need a fancy haircut. You need to have your sparkly jewelry. And, right? We start to tell them that you're not worth anything unless you cover yourself up. And one of the things that I would suggest is when your kids are young, teach them to stand in front of that mirror when they first get up in the morning and look at their naked body there and learn to love that. And then they learn to love themselves. And I think that's part of where you're trying to go there is we need that self-love in the situation. And then that brings the want to have a healthy relationship. Mike?
I guess I'm confused about what you're really saying. I don't think that even the most conservative religious pastor would disagree that we should teach our children to have self-respect and love and be able to make decisions and learn to know how to say no. I mean, am I understanding correctly? I mean, you started out, I thought you were to say that, fine, let kids have sex. they have this gift, let them use it. But, so I'm not.
Well,
sure
well,
what you're
they are using it, and many of them are using it behind your back, and they're doing it in an unhealthy way, and they're making mistakes. And I guess the question is, two parts here. Number one is, we're lying to ourselves as parents, that our children aren't going to have sex because we gave them sex education. And what I'm trying to say is, no, we didn't give them sex education. We taught them how to use the gift. And so they're going to go and do that. And so we're lying to ourselves from that point of view. And if we can stop lying to ourselves that we're educating them, and we can actually provide real education, we can address the issue. And that's part of the problem. And did I answer your full question there? Seemed like there might have been another part.
The objective is still, delaying those decisions.
My end is to let you decide what healthy is.
Okay, so you want to decide.
But in any case, healthy is, what does healthy look like? And is our education system moving us to that goal of what healthy looks like? And whether that healthy is, taking people for a test drive before your marriage, or whether that healthy is waiting.
So are you saying we should get rid of sex education in the schools altogether?
I'm not saying either way, per se. But what I am saying is, if you look at the message in the school, it's abstinence, don't do it, wait. And yet at the other time, we're trying to teach children about this issue, right? If we went into the schools and we said, and schools also teaching, sex is a good thing, it can be done healthy, that's an inconsistent message. So the school can't say, don't do it, and then also share what a healthy relationship looks like, because those are kind of, if you will, confusing message, and they kind of need to be separated. So we need, two schools there somewhere. And I'm out of time. Do you have a quick question, Dana, that I could answer?
I just think, the parent having a conversation with the kid, what a grand idea. Love it. Yay. Wouldn't that be lovely? I think that expectation is hysterical if you were looking back at my parents.
Yeah.
I mean, that's funny. So I think the idea is great, that parents should sit down and speak to their kids, sex or not. I mean, talk to your kids so that you have an open relationship. How lovely would that be? First off, I think the marriage has to be that way. If the marriage ain't that way, it ain't gonna be that way with the kids. So, there's a whole, I get your concept with what you're trying to say. I think it's a really big concept. Yeah, but thank you.
Thank you.